Okay, so the thing that changed me forever, I was talking to my friend Neil, actually Neil Sturman, physical therapist in Encinitas, California, and he kept telling me these stories of healing, and one that got my attention big time was he told me about a guy that had black feet. Now the thing was, the guy wasn't a black guy, he wasn't African American, but he had black feet and they were very, very painful. And so what he told me was he did a technique for the guy's liver. And I was like, what? Because at the time I was an orthopedic physical therapist. I wanted to be scientific. I was told that a lot of these alternative things were just a bunch of bunk. But he healed the guy. With one session, he helped his liver move better, is what he said. And it was something called visceral manipulation, the work of an osteopath from France, Jean-Pierre Barral. And so he'd already been telling me stories, and he was getting success stories that I couldn't get with my advanced orthopedic physical therapy scientific stuff back in San Diego. So I thought, I don't know what he's doing, but I got to learn what he's doing because it's working. And so it started me taking a lot of classes from osteopaths and massage therapists and other healers and alternative medical doctors of all sorts and chiropractors. And I started getting better results with chronic people. So then I was going along and I thought I had it kind of figured out, but I met Sharon Giammatteo, the late Sharon Giammatteo, in February of 2000. And her and her husband, Tom, could look at me and look at everybody in the room in this class and see what was wrong with them. Just literally see it and then tell us what to do. And then we would go do stuff that they taught us that was even more kind of strange looking. Didn't seem like we were doing anything. But I had my best runs ever after that when I was running that next week. And so that took me down a course of 10 years and 110 classes because I saw results that were out of this world. I mean, the successes were crazy. Now, there's the guy that wrote 2001, A Space Odyssey, Arthur C. Clarke. And what he said was, sufficiently advanced technology will appear as magic. And back in my day, I'm dating myself, but I remember when fax machines came out and I thought, oh my God, they're sending something over the phone lines and then you can get a whole document, exact replica of what was sent over the airwaves. And it seemed like magic. But so the thing is, there's a lot of stuff that if we think about it, is like kind of like, how does that actually work? But so I'm going along with Sharon Giammatteo and all that work, the integrated manual therapy. And then I came across Richard Bartlett and Matrix Energetics, chiropractor, naturopath, who had an experience of immediate, instant healing with a little girl, and some stuff happened to him that could only be called spiritual, and he started being able to heal people. People were being healed just by being around him and moving his hands around, and it's like, okay, that's kind of weird, but it's like pretty cool. So I took that class, and then the story of Wanda showed up. So I've told this story before, but short version is she came into my office and thinking it was a physical therapy clinic with chronic pain and allergies and environmental sensitivities and anxiety and depression. And I can say this because she wrote me a couple of big success stories, and it all went away. And the treatment, the session was very short. I mean, few seconds. And I saw her do these things that I've never seen anybody do. I could tell you about it, but it seems incredible what happened during that session. And over the course of 6 sessions, she kept coming in for a little bit. Her doctor told her to come, and she was healed. And I thought, okay, this is just beyond any limits that I've ever seen. And so I went down the road of Matrix Energetics and took about 35 classes over the years, and I just had to see how far it would go, and it went very far. So it didn't seem scientific. Now I've backfilled it, and it is scientific. It's just in the world of quantum physics instead of some of the Newtonian physics. But who cares what's the cause of it or the reason if it just works? So after Matrix, I was going along, and I came back and was using all of these different techniques and helping people with their healing, chronic illnesses of all sorts, mysterious conditions, autoimmune, chronic pain, anxiety. I had solved anxiety myself, and I came across a guy, Christian Michelson, and he's a business coach. But he had a story of going from food stamps to $5 million a year. And I thought, well, that's interesting. So I started following him, And he had a technique that was given to him by spiritual means, I suppose, and he called it instant miracle technique. So I started learning that and what he called the peace process, and then backfilled the training on that. And it was like, well, Eckhart Tolle's been talking about this. David R. Hawkins, MD, PhD, healed a lot of people with it. Michael A. Singer created $1 billion company using it. So they called it different things, but I was like, I gotta do this. And when I learned it, when I used it, my wife Jen was like, what are you doing? Because things were working even better for us. People were finding us in very magical ways, very interesting ways. I could tell you stories, but it was like, obviously something else was in charge. Maybe the thing that causes that, you know? Maybe the thing that causes that. And so what I found in my work is, I don't know where the end of this is, but if somebody has a chronic or mysterious condition, if they've got anxiety, if life isn't going well, if some relationship is not right, if you need healing, if you need to be healed, if something is like, if you're at your wit's end, if doctors don't have answers anymore, and you've tried a lot of stuff and you just don't know what to do, and I'm talking about anything. It seems weird. You're supposed to niche down and, have one thing that you help people with. It's healing, my friends. It's healing. It's healing. So if you've got something going on, if things aren't right, if you're not where you thought you'd be at this point in your life, if something's up, reach out to me. Reach out to me. This whole channel is about healing. My whole life is about healing. And just because we don't understand it doesn't mean we can't use it. And like Arthur C. Clarke said, any sufficiently advanced technology will appear as magic. I mean, who created that?